Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You see by the title, we're wrapping up November and I need to do this quickly because I've got things to do today. I'm going out later this afternoon, so let's get this over with quickly. And I've only got a couple books to talk to you about. I only read 3 books in full in November. I know, terrible. 3 books in full. And yeah, and I DNF too. And let's just get the bad news out of the way first. I'll talk about the ones that I fully read in a moment. But I DNF too. One was on my Kindle and it was The Final Strife by Sarah El Arafi, who I'd read, who is the author of Feybound and Cursebound. And listen, I like those 2 books, but The Final Strife, listen, there's nothing wrong with it. There wasn't anything wrong with it. I just wasn't into it. I just didn't really care. I didn't care about the story, didn't care about the characters. I didn't care what anybody was doing. And I was like, I'm literally just reading this just so I can say that I read it, and that's not a very good reason. So I'm going to vacate the premises. Bye-bye. And the other book that I DNF'd, I never thought that I would ever DNF a book by this author, but I DNF Wish You Were Her by Elle McNichol for very different reasons. One of the main reasons is the 2 main characters in this, Allegra and Jonah, is that his name? Yeah, I could not stand either one of them. I couldn't stand either one of them. She was such... Now, this is the definition of a pick-me. This is the definition of a pick-me right here. Some of you don't know what that effing means. Some of you are throwing that around about characters that do not fit that bill at all. But this girl, like, she's literally like, pick me, but also at the same time, don't pick me. I just want to be a normal girl. Like, I just want to be a normal 18-year-old and hang out with my dad at his bookstore, but also I'm really pretty. Also, I'm like super famous. Also, I can get you a famous author for your book fair because I'm so famous and so pretty. So basically, she is a famous actress. She's taken some time off to visit her hometown again, Lake Pristine. There's a summer book time festival happening. She's going to work with her dad at the bookshop to help out. The guy that works at the bookshop with her dad is called Jonah, and he's supposed to be our love interest. And he's really rude to her numerous times throughout this. And then we find out that he's autistic, and here is where the first red flag went up for me. We find out he's autistic. She's autistic as well, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. Its own voices. Elle McNichol writes autistic characters in her stories. That's great. I love that. We need more of that. But what I don't like, and what I was very, very shocked to see what Elle had done, we find out Jonah is autistic, and then all of a sudden, it's as if all his bad behavior, all his being really rude, like genuinely really rude towards Allegra numerous times. But then we find out that he's autistic, and it's like, oh, that's why he spoke to me that way, because he's autistic? Oh, well, I guess that's okay. Your diagnosis isn't an excuse for you to be an asshole. It's not. I'm shocked, Elle. I'm really shocked. I hated both of them. I hated both of them. I hated both of them. Goodbye. Anyway, let's talk about the books that I read in full. I only read 3 full books. The first book I read was the Introverted Reader Book Club pick for the month of November, and that was The South Wind by Alexandria Warwick. I have a review of this on my channel. You want to go and watch it? You're more than welcome to do so. But at the core of it, it is Greek mythology inspired, inspired by Sleeping Beauty and the Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. So yes, our main girlie, what is her name? Sarai? Yeah, Sarai. She's living in the palace. She's a princess. Her father's growing old. Her brother's gonna take over the throne soon. And she's like daughter cast to the side. she used to play music, but her other brother who died really affected that. It made her really sad. So obviously it made her really sad. What am I talking about? But anyway, his death affected her in such a way that she doesn't play music anymore. And then her dad tells her one day that this prince is coming from another kingdom for her to marry. And it's like, well, I'm not thrilled about it, but it'll strengthen the kingdom and we're cursed anyway, so whatever. Prince comes, everything's grand, and then this other guy shows up, the South Wind. It's a person, it's not just wind. He's a god, and he shows up, and she's like, Dad, what the F? And he's like, oh, I need him here as well to help out to make sure everything with your wedding goes all right. And she is pissed. She's not happy that he's there at all because the two of them used to be lovers. I know, tea, drama. But go watch my review of this if you want a bit more depth about what I thought of it. In the end, I think I gave this 3 stars. In the end, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't great, but it was alright. Would I read more from this author? Yeah, I would. You know, be fun little books to read in between everything else. The next book that I read in full was Skander and the Unicorn Thief by A.F. Stedman. This was a reread because I'm catching up on the series, and I've only read the first 2 books. And books 3 and 4 and 5 are out. So yeah, I listened to this via audio and it was really, really good. I gave it 4 stars. Basically, if you are not familiar, we are following our main character Skandar, and he lives in a alternate universe. It's our world, but you know, alternate history where there's this island. It's like there's Ireland, there's England, and then in between the two is this little island where unicorns live. And, you know, they're not your typical unicorns. You know, they're quite very dangerous, bloodthirsty animals. And basically every year when children turn 13, they get a whole group of them together to take this hatchery exam. So they take this exam and then they go over to the island to hatch an egg and, you know, birth a unicorn, and, you know, goes from there really, so they can train to become unicorn riders. And yeah, again, I've already read this, but I will say this is one of the better middle grades I've read. I definitely prefer middle grades like this, where the protagonist is maybe a little bit older, between the ages of like 11 to 13. So, because a lot of the younger ones, they're too young for me. So I definitely prefer ones like this. But this is it's really well written. I had a great time. I love the magic system. Skandar's a great character to read from. It's kind of like, I feel like if you enjoyed Percy Jackson, you'd really enjoy this. It's like, this is like Percy Jackson, but with flying unicorns. So yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'm really looking forward to listening to book 2. And the final book that I read for the month of November, the 3rd and final book that I read in full, was Never Ever After by Sue Lynn Tan. Because after I DNF, Wish You Were Here, and Final Strife, this arrived. And I was like, oh, Auntie Susan's here to save the day, thank God. So I just grabbed this and picked it up. Like, can we talk about this cover? Take in this cover. Do you see this? Do you see this? And the spine and the back of it. It's beautiful. On the back it says, monsters live in all places and sometimes they wear crowns. Indeed they do. Sometimes they wear crowns or an ill-fitted suit and a wig. But anyway, so basically, we're following our main character, Yinning, who lives in this place called the Iron Mountains. And her step auntie, it's the woman her uncle married after her actual aunt passed away. It's just her and this woman. And this woman doesn't even treat her like family. She treats her like property, essentially. And they you know, they lie and steal to get by. It's really harsh. They're very, very poor. And then one day she stumbles across this like magic pond with this magic fish, and the fish talks to her. And basically, you know, it's kind of like, it gives Cinderella, like Sue Lynn Tan was inspired by Cinderella. So like the fish is kind of like the fairy godmother, if you will. And, you know, gives her this brand new robe and is like, the prince is throwing a party, you should go. Because her aunt has like stolen a bunch of her possessions and she's gone to the palace, you know, because they get an invitation to go to this ball. and you know the aunt steals it and locks her away and heads off. So she puts on, you know, the cart gives her fancy robes. She goes to the party. She runs into the prince, and then she ends up staying in the palace with the prince and goes from there, really. And there's also another love interest in there called Jin, who is like from another kingdom, like a rival kingdom. He's not a prince, is he? No, I'll not say. I'll not say. But yeah, so basically, you know, there's a lot of quests going on. There's magic, there's intrigue, there's angst. Again, if you're a fan of Chinese dramas, read Su Lin Tan. Like, everything that you love about C-dramas is in this book. And I really enjoyed this. It was fun. It's the first book in a series. It definitely gives that. Not much really goes down. Just giving you a lot of explanation and sort of giving you a build-up into what the next book is going to be. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love Su Lin Tan's writing. I really love where it's going, and I'm super excited to find out where we're gonna go next. Is it my favorite Su Lin Tan? No. That would still lie with Daughter of the Moon Goddess, if I'm being honest with you. But I am really looking forward to see where this goes. I really love the latter half of this. Like, the first half is kind of slow, but then the latter half, where we really get into it, darling, everything really kicks off. So, I mean, what rating would I give this? I think I gave this 3 stars in the end. Definitely, you know, first book syndrome, but I still had fun. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So, this is the damage that we did in November, 2 DNFs. And I read 3 books in full. Not my best. Not my best, honestly. The reading this month has been diabolical, but I'm keeping hope alive for December. Although, listen, work as of lately has just been absolute ass, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, why is it that when it comes to this time of year, people treat hospitality workers like shit? Like, answer me that. Anyway. Anyway, I'm going to go. Things to do. But I'll catch yous in my next video on Tuesday, where I'll be a little bit more relaxed, hopefully. Anyway, bye.